This is an iHeart podcast.
Wells Fargo seeks broad impact in their communities, focused on supporting customers and communities through housing affordability, small business growth, financial health, and more. Donated over $2 billion to strengthen local communities over the last 5 years. Wells Fargo, the bank of doing. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/saydo. Support includes contributions from Wells Fargo & Company, Wells Fargo Bank N.A., and the Wells Fargo Foundation.
When you're driving, nothing's better than binging on a podcast. Well, except maybe binging on rewards from Marathon. That's because you can earn at least 5 cents a gallon in rewards every time you fuel up, saving up to $1 a gallon. Plus, signing up is easy. Do it straight from the pump or at marathonrewards.com. So start binging on savings with rewards from Marathon today. And don't miss the Thomas Rhett Better in Boots Tour this summer, fueled by Marathon. At participating locations. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, from Wonder Media Network, I'm Jenny Kaplan, and this is Womanica. This month we're talking about maritime madams. Whether through scientific study, aquatic exploration, or legendary prowess, they harness the power of the bodies of water that cover our Earth. In Dublin's fair city, where the girls are so pretty, I first set my eyes on sweet Molly Malone, as she wheeled her wheelbarrow through streets broad and narrow, crying "Cockles and Mussels alive, alive-o." Or so goes the tale of today's Womanican, Dublin's very own Molly Malone. Molly Malone has become one of the most famous figures of Irish and Dublin city lore, but whether her story is based on a real person is up for debate. Molly's song is known as Cockles and Mussels in Dublin's fair city, or simply Molly Malone. The earliest version of the song credited to a specific writer is from 1883, though earlier unattributed versions date back to 1871. In the song that immortalized her story, Molly is described as a beautiful fishmonger who spent her days on the streets of Dublin peddling her wares, cockles and mussels. She's also referred to as a fishwife, a term typically used to refer to the wives or daughters of fishermen who sold seafood in city markets, though the word could also generally refer to any woman selling fish. Historically, the term also has a connotation of abrasiveness or vulgarity. Fishwives were thought of as women who used foul language and who went against societal expectations and were seen as rude or even as participating in so-called promiscuous behavior. Threads of that connotation can be seen in Molly's story, as she's popularly been known as the tart with a cart. She's also sometimes pictured as a sex worker. These details are as hard to confirm as the rest of Molly's tale. But Molly's story is not simply about a woman making a living. It ends in tragedy, as our narrator sings. "Now she died of a fever and no one could save her. Was then that I lost sweet Molly Malone." The song continues to describe Molly as a ghost, haunting the streets of Dublin, yelling "Cockles and Mussels forevermore." Dublin as a city has embraced Molly's tale. Cockles and Mussels is often referred to as an unofficial anthem of the city, and Molly herself is honored in statue form on Suffolk Street. The statue was erected in 1988 to celebrate Dublin's millennium. An unofficial tradition has arisen where many tourists rub the breasts of Molly's statue for good luck. The practice has been criticized by many in Dublin as sexist and disrespectful, and many have called for the statue to be protected. After outcries from Dubliners, the city council has even brought in stewards to protect Molly's statue. When erecting the statue, the city claimed it had found records of the real Molly, a woman named Mary Malone who died in the late 1600s. While Molly was a nickname for Mary, it remains difficult to confirm if this woman is connected to the Molly of legend, especially considering there are multiple Mary Malones on record in Dublin. In more recent years, another song referring to a Molly Malone was uncovered. This song was originally published in 1790 and refers to a sweet Molly Malone, but does not mention her being a fishmonger. In fact, the only connection beyond the subject's name is that she lived near Dublin. This version of the song more directly implies that Molly was involved in sex work. Just as with the original song, it stands to reason that both these Molly Malones are simply figures of myth or legend. Even so, just as her ghost haunts the streets in Cockles and Mussels, Molly persists as an urban legend integral to Dublin City. All month, we're talking about maritime madams. For more information, find us on Facebook and Instagram at Womanica Podcast. Special thanks to Liz Kaplan, my favorite sister and co-creator. As always, we'll be taking a break for the weekend. Talk to you on Monday.
When you're driving, nothing's better than binging on a podcast. Well, except maybe binging on rewards from Marathon. That's because you can earn at least 5 cents a gallon in rewards every time you fuel up, saving up to $1 a gallon. Plus, signing up is easy. Do it straight from the pump or at marathonrewards.com. So start binging on savings with rewards from Marathon today. And don't miss the Thomas Rhett Better in Boots Tour this summer, fueled by Marathon. At participating locations, terms and conditions apply.
Wells Fargo is proud of the important role they play for their customers, their communities, and the U.S. economy, covering more rural markets than many large banks and nearly 30% of branches in low or moderate income census tracts. Also proudly serving more than 10% of small businesses nationwide. Wells Fargo, the bank of doing. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/say-do. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
This is an iHeart podcast.